Hello everyone, thanks so much for coming by to watch this video. My name is Alan Hernandez with DP Computing, and today we have a great video that I'd like to get you in on, and that's going to be on troubleshooting Windows 8. And I'd like to share with you some of the things that I've done to be able to fix certain issues within the Windows 8 application. Now, what we're going to be learning is basically using the advanced startup options that Windows 8 offers. Also, we're going to be going over the task manager. We're also going to be covering how to get your motherboard on your computer to work compatible with Windows 8. Also, the Windows updates, the Windows diagnostic tool, and what are the required applications for most of the programs and things that we do online. So with that said, what I'd like to basically go over with you is that if at this moment you have recently upgraded your computer to Windows 8, obviously it will take the upgrade as long as your computer has the hardware necessary to handle the upgrade. However, though, I have noticed that on some computers your motherboard was only designed for Windows 7, and there may be some incompatibility issues with Windows 8. And what I mean by this is you may have issues with the sound or the video, even though it may not seem like it is having issues, but you will notice that Windows 8 will install what is called a generic driver for your hardware, not necessarily the one that would be compatible for Windows 8. So with that said, if you have any issues with any of your hardware after installing the Windows 8 application, you want to go ahead and go to your motherboard manufacturer's website, and the manufacturers that are the most popular are AMD or Intel. So with that said, you want to basically first look at your hardware, and you can do this by right clicking on the computer icon, properties, and then device manager. And what this is going to show you is the hardware right now inside your computer. And you're going to notice how most of the hardware on my computer does not have a question mark, a parenthesis, or anything like that, indicating that there is an issue with it. However, though, you will notice that this one in particular has no driver because I upgraded to Windows 8. Now at this moment, this particular hardware, whatever this PCI simple communication is not really needed for me to do anything that I do on my computer. But there is no driver for it because I have Windows 8. Another thing that I noticed was on the sound, the same thing. You notice how it's using this high definition audio device. Well, this is a standard generic driver that Microsoft provided when I upgraded to Windows 8. But when I go over to my Intel manufacturer's website, in this case Intel.com, and I search for my motherboard, there is no drivers for Windows 8. It's only Windows 7. So either way, what you want to first look at if you're having issues with any of the hardware on your computer, the first thing you want to do is look at the device manager and look at your list. Whatever it is that is showing with a problem, in this case like this PCI simple communications, you want to go over to the manufacturer's website and see if your motherboard has in fact Windows 8 drivers. If it does not have any drivers, your other option would be, which is what I did, would be to use the Windows update option and let Microsoft provide you at least generic drivers to get you by. And how you do this is by simply going and opening the Internet Explorer browser, right clicking on this and enabling the menu bar, and then Tools, Windows updates. Okay, and when the Windows updates comes up, you can simply do a check for updates, let the Microsoft communicate with your computer, and whatever is available, you want to go ahead and get the hardware drivers provided, security updates and software updates while you at it. In other words, any updates available for your Windows 8 is highly recommended so that your computer's software and hardware are up to date with Windows 8. That would be your number one issue that you may have when upgrading to Windows 8, because most of these softwares and applications were designed for 7, and there may not be yet upgrades or drivers for Windows 8. And with that said, as long as you do the Windows updates to get all the available updates for your computer, or you go over to the Intel website or AMD website or whatever your motherboard's manufactured is, and make sure that you get all the latest driver updates for your motherboard. Hopefully they have one for Windows 8. To give you a great example what you will experience, I'm going to go over to Intel, just assuming you have an Intel motherboard, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to Intel, and AMD and Intel, why I'm referring to these two besides the other ones out there, is that they have a feature called automatic detection. And what this means is that you're able to scan your computer with their feature and be able to identify your computer without having to open your computer up, without having to know the model of your motherboard. So with this said, I'm going to go over to support, and then you're going to see that I'm going to do downloads and drivers, and then automatically find the drivers for this computer. So you check on this option. Watch what happens as it searches for my model. I'm going to not block this because I want to enable it. And something like this is what you will go through on the AMD website, and hopefully on any of the other motherboard manufacturers. You're going to notice that when I go over to my sound drivers, an Intel device was not detected, but your operating system is not supported by this utility. You see that? Even though when I go over to my device manager, right, and the audio driver does not give me an issue, and I do have sound on my computer, it's not a driver that was designed for 8. In this case was just a Microsoft generic driver just to make it work, basically. So with that said, guys, this is something that you want to do when you upgrade to Windows 8, is to make sure that, one, you get all the Windows updates, and you make sure you get all the Windows 8 drivers for your motherboard, if they have any. Now, if you have the option to update your motherboard with Windows 8 drivers, I would recommend you go that route first and not install the Microsoft generic updates. Only get the security and software updates from Microsoft, and then get your hardware updates from your manufacturer's website, because those drivers are designed for your motherboard. So with that said, that's how you want to basically troubleshoot, look into having maybe issues with your drivers and your hardware missing compatible drivers for the Windows 8 application. So with that said, what we want to do now is look into basically the Windows 8 troubleshooting and automatic features that basically help you identify certain issues, most common problems, and be able to provide you a solution. Now with Windows 8, they have improved the diagnostic tools and the automated repair options on Windows 8, different from Windows Vista or 7. So there's a lot of improvements. Every time that I use this feature, it seems to find a solution for me. So with that said, what you want to do is go inside my control panel, and there you're going to see the troubleshooting option. And by the way, guys, while you're here, if you do not want to go through Internet Explorer and then Windows updates, you can just simply choose the option right from here. But for now, we're going to be using the troubleshooting option, and I basically want to show you all the different options that they have. And as you can see, programs, hardware and sound, network and internet, system and security. So with this, if you have a certain issue with, let's say, your internet, right, it's not connecting, and speaking of that particular problem, Microsoft provided me with drivers for my internet card on the computer, and every now and then I need to disable it and re-enable the adapter so that it can reconnect. Somehow, some way, it disconnects every now and then, and this never happened when I was using Windows 7. And the only thing that I can say, and also by what Intel said, is that the drivers provided by Microsoft when I did the upgrade are not compatible, fully compatible in this case, with Windows 8. So you're going to notice, for example, if you're troubleshooting your internet, all you will have to do is right click on the computer icon. Alright, give me just a moment while I close this pop-up here. Apologize for that. Let me just close it here like this. Alright, so you want to right click on your My Computer and then open Network and Sharing Center or Troubleshoot Problems. So the diagnostics tool in Windows 8 is going to look something like this depending on what you're troubleshooting. Right now I'm troubleshooting the internet, and it's going to give me options, probably something similar to what you experienced on Windows 7 if you ever used the Windows diagnostic tools. But with this said, just simply follow the prompts, try to narrow down what the issue is, try to identify as specific as you can get, and Windows is going to provide you with either an update, either some steps for you to follow, or simply provide you with what it is the problem, and then you can simply go ahead and follow up on that. I'm not going to play with this option because at this moment I don't have an issue, but it's very important that you simply right click and then use the troubleshoot problems feature and let the Windows provide you the steps necessary to fix it. So for now, I'm going to go inside the control panel, use the troubleshooting option, and then the same thing goes with hardware and sound, programs, and system and security. So another great example, if I use fix problems with Windows updates, there it is. Follow the prompts. If you're having an issue updating your Windows 8, go ahead and use this option, follow the prompts. There may be a genuine issue with your Windows 8. Maybe you didn't fully activate it when you installed it, or maybe there's a particular service on your Windows that needs to be on for your updates feature to work. So following this option would basically help you identify why you're not able to use the Windows updates. Alright, so again, when it comes to troubleshooting your Windows, Windows 8 has made some improvements with the diagnostic and troubleshooting tools within the Windows 8 platform. So it's very important that you use it. Now the next one that we want to cover is, in any particular reason, and you may not experience this, at least for my experience, you're not going to experience too much freeze-up, okay, too much non-responding behaviors on Windows 8. And you know what I mean by, if you experienced this before, especially on Windows XP or Vista, where you're running a program and it just freezes, right? It takes forever to open. It just, you know, gives you this non-responding behavior. Well, what you want to do in a situation like that, you simply want to press the Control Alt key and then delete on Windows 8. This option will come up, and then we want to open the Task Manager. And the reason I want to open the Task Manager is because you're going to be able to look at several things. Okay, most of the time when you have a freeze up or a non-responding issue, it has to do with the computer is running out of energy. It's basically overwhelmed, and you most likely are running more than you have to at the same time. And because of this, Windows freezes in between what you're trying to do, especially if you do not have enough memory to handle what you're doing. So for example, before I show you the test manager in the troubleshooting aspect, I'm going to go inside the computer, right click properties, and you're going to notice that I'm running a quad CPU. It's 4 CPUs in one at 2.50 gigahertz, and I have 8 gigabytes of memory. Along with that, I have the 64-bit operating system. So I have a pretty stable, powerful system as we speak. So again, I personally do not experience many freeze-ups, only every now and then. And it comes down to, and I've noticed this, when I'm running 20 different programs at one time, or if I have several different browsers open at the same time and I'm just doing too many things in between each other, there may be one or the other that will freeze because it does not know what to do at that moment. So with that said, instead of waiting for it to get fixed, instead of, you know, just sitting around and maybe it would go away, because sometimes the freeze up would go away after a minute, couple seconds. Sometimes it stays like that forever because it just froze, it got lost. What you want to do is go over to the processes tab, this one that you see open, and at any given time, let's say that the Google Chrome application, or you know, your antivirus, or whatever the program or application is that you're using, all you simply have to do is select it and then do end task. So to give you a great example, you know, if I want to end any of these tasks that I open, all I have to do is select it and then end task, and it's going to basically go away the moment I do that. Simply end it. So whatever application you had open and it went into this freezing behavior, it's just going to close, and 90% of the time when you reopen it, it goes away, it opens just fine. So if you deal with freeze-ups, which you may not, this is a great way to simply close it and reopen it. Now if you have Windows XP, or you had Windows XP in the past, or Vista, maybe not most of the time, but with 7 as well, the freeze-up may happen more often than you will experience using the Windows 8 application, because they have done some improvements with the performance, the stability, and the compatibility behavior on the Windows 8 application. But you will experience it every now and then. So this is a simple way to simply close it, let the problem go away, and simply reopen whatever you had open. Very, very simple. So I'm going to close this for now. And the next one that we're going to cover, which is also very, very important, is that some of the things that you do online will require certain applications. Okay, so for example, most of us, what we do is watch videos online, you know, check out media, read articles, and most of these websites require you to have Java application and Adobe Reader or Flash players. And these applications are the most common for you to be able to view videos, stream them, very stable, and for you to open certain applications within, or enable certain applications within those websites. So what I want you to do to make sure that you have the latest applications so that you can do those things online, what you want to do is go ahead and open yourself a browser, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, either of them. And then the first thing you want to do is go to java.com, okay? And then do free Java download. I agree and start for free. Run it. Okay, and then do install. And every now and then these the Java application will release new updates. It may not notify you of such thing. So it's always good to every now and then you go online and you follow these exact steps so that you can always have the latest Java application. Now watch what it says. This software has already been installed on your computer. Would you like to reinstall it? Of course not, because I already have it. So once you know that that's the case, simply move on to Adobe. But most likely you will not have the latest Java application. So the next one we want to go into is Adobe. And here basically we want to focus on 3 very important applications. And that's going to be, give me just a moment. We're going to be getting the Adobe Reader, which allows you to view, read, and open certain PDF files and other, article type media and related content. Also, the Adobe Flash Player is what will let you play videos, stream media, radio stations, certain things like that on the internet. The next one that I also notice every now and then, I come across this one in particular, not anymore though, because I already have the most latest one, is the Adobe Air applications. And this one is mostly used on some programs that you may install or initiate online. So to make a long story short for you, what I highly recommend you do to prevent coming across an issue that you're not able to fix, or something you're trying to do but you can't, and and basically sit there not knowing what you need to do, most likely it has to do with something you're missing that's required for you to be able to do what you're doing. So with that said, go ahead and download Adobe Reader, Adobe Flash Player, Adobe Air, and the latest one, which is also required but not so much as the other 3, is the Shockwave Player. Once you get all these 4, anything you do online as far as videos, audio, radio station, media, content, downloads, initiating the chat section, anything like that, you will have the latest applications to be able to do that. So with that said, guys, there's one more that I've noticed that is very useful, and it has improved a lot, and I think it's not even close to the Windows 8 startup repair options. But with Windows 8 there are some improvements and some new features that I thought was very useful. I actually had to use these options several times on other clients that I worked on, and even on my own computer. When I first started using Windows 8, I was getting familiar with it, and I came across some issues. And those are basically what is called the advanced startup options. So how you get to those options is, again, if you're having an issue with starting up your computer, if you're having an issue with something in particular, I'm going to show you really quick what options are covered under this feature. Go ahead and hold on, let me take you over to the desktop. Move your mouse over to the bottom right, then choose search. In the search box, do advanced, and then move it over to settings, and then advanced startup options. This is going to take you to the general screen on your PC settings on your Windows 8 application. If you move down just a bit, these are the 3 options that I'm basically referring to. Refresh your PC without affecting your files. If your PC isn't running well, you can refresh it without losing your photos, music, videos, and other personal files. This first option is mostly used if you're having an issue starting up your Windows, or if it takes forever, or if you feel like you need to restore it or recover it back to original state. Something like a restore without losing anything. This option is fantastic. On the next one, we have remove everything and reinstall Windows. If you want to recycle your PC or start over completely, you can reset it to its factory settings. This is obviously going to be an option where you're going to lose everything, but if you have to do so because you just have to reload your Windows for whatever reason, maybe a virus, something that happened that you did and now it won't boot anymore, this would be a particular option you want to use. So simply, if you just want to restore it back from the beginning because you want to sell your computer, doesn't matter, this option is fantastic. And then the final option will be the advanced startup option. So with this one, start from a device or disk such as a USB drive or DVD. Change Windows startup settings or restore Windows from a system image. this will restart your PC. So if you need to use and do any of these three options for any particular reason, these advanced options are very, very useful, and every time that I have used them, it has worked 100%. So with that said, guys, I think that you've learned enough when it comes to troubleshooting, identifying and fixing most common issues with your Windows 8 application, and in this case platform. So if you have any particular questions related to this video, you can post those questions below this video, and we look forward to releasing more videos in the near future on Windows 8. If you have any request maybe on something you'd like to learn, we may go ahead and take your request and record a video for that particular need. So with that said, again, my name is Alan Hernandez with DP Computing, and basically what I want to do now is take you over to our website. If you need to contact us for any reason, we'll be standing by to assist you. So we want to basically search for, give me just a moment here, I'm going to open the website. Just a moment. Okay, here we are. So our website URL is going to be dpcomputing.com.au. We are located in South Australia. Our phone number is right above the website. Any given time you'd like to give us a call, you can do that. If you just like to send us a message, you can use the email right below the number. And again, guys, if you have any questions, you can post those questions below this video. Thanks so much for your time, and I look forward to helping you if need be. Take care.